This is Nick Dembski. You're watching Sideline Showdown.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a live on location edition of the Sideline Showdown.
Yes,
Mike's still here with Keto Pobla. As always, Keto, we got Selects ID camp going on in about half an hour from now here. Very excited for that, man. Keto, how pumped are you right now for the camp?
You know, I'm really excited to see these kids come out. You know, we see them all the time out there at their football games and stuff, but now to be able to evaluate their skills and, you know, see what they're capable of doing from, like, you know, challenging them with different drills and stuff like that and seeing their athletic ability. And you get to see it out there in the football field, but get to see them without the helmets. Oh, I'm really excited right now.
Going to be awesome. Maybe just quick breakdown, Keto, of what to expect today and then also on the second ID camp later on this month.
Yeah, so today we're just going to be profiling all the kids, making sure that we get all their measurements correctly in terms of, you know, their speed, their size, their weight, as well as just a lot of matching what we saw on the football field, but also here. Some of the kids that we get to see on the football field, we usually miss. So this is a time where we actually get to see the kids who may not get the ball so much or may not be around the ball so much, to really see where, you know, how we can use them and how they can actually add and actually be a part of our provincial program to, you know, kick butt down in Texas.
Definitely. You mentioned Texas just now. Again, for those maybe uninformed, what's the rest of the rundown going to be for Selects as we go through the rest of the process?
Yeah, so basically this is the beginning process where we actually just start evaluating kids, IDing them, and then we go into where we're gonna, next month we have an all-star program where we're gonna have a practice game down in Minnesota, as well as a game back here in Winnipeg. That's going to be our final selection where we get some of the top kids in the province to battle each other out, and then we're going to provide or invite the kids that we feel are best suited to help the program and actually succeed and that can compete at the highest level to come out, show out, train with us, and do what it does.
Awesome, man. Love that. You also get that free ID wristband when you come down.
Yeah.
A little bit of the drip going on.
Yeah,
you know what it is.
You know what it is.
So, yeah, you know, good time all around. Always is.
Yes,
always
sir,
is.
You know it.
More Winnipeg High School Football League action, Keto, and I had the chance to head down and watch Miles Mack take on Garden City, two of the top teams so far this year in Division II. I was very excited to go down and check that out and just sort of see how the top level teams are competing, who's getting a leg up as we near playoffs in just a couple of weeks' time. Miles Mack coming out with a very dominant victory in the game against Garden City, but that's not to say that Garden City wasn't impressive. Ryan Bruno at quarterback doing a little bit of everything for GC, but Miles Mack, their linebacking core, so strong, so physical, and Dan Washnuk, excellent coach down there at Miles Mack. He always has the boys ready, man.
Yeah.
I know you know Dan a little bit there as well.
Yeah, I know Dan very well. We actually got to coach with each other at some point. Actually helped out with the program when it first started. And yeah, he's a great, solid coach. And you're talking about those linebackers being solid. I know that's where he specializes in, so it doesn't surprise me.
Evan Rollwagon, great game. He's a provincial team player for Miles Mack. And then also their running back, Juan. Remember the name. He's very, very, very good.
Nice.
Yeah, very, very impressed by both teams, honestly. Great game. Well, Keto, we're now a little bit past the midway point of the regular season in the Winnipeg High School Football League, and figured it was a good time to look back at the coaches poll.
Yeah.
First ever coaches poll happened this year, and yeah, just sort of interested to see where teams were ranked based on the coaches, and where that accuracy lies with where the standings are. So we'll start with Division One, and honestly, not a lot of movement from what was expected. Coaches had these ones relatively bang on. St. Paul's, well, not bang on actually. Now that I'm looking here, St. Paul's ranked 1, Vincent Massey 2, Dakota 3, Steinbach 4. Let's pause there for a minute with the top 4, because there is some movement we need to talk about in Division One.
For real.
Most notably, the 5-0 Dakota Lancers first-year head coach Mitch Harrison got them boys running. What do you think about that, Keto?
You know what? I think it's really awesome. It's kind of like what we talked about earlier this year when we talked about a first-year coach coming in. The program's always been a solid program, and I think Mitch has done a great job of just creating his philosophy, allowing the kids to understand, hey, just go out there and play, and you see it out there. Like, they're playing football, and they're competing at the highest level that Manitoba has to offer. And honestly, for them to be 5-0 right now, they're doing great. But, it's one of those scenarios this year, and we talked about the parity of this league. It shows right there where it's like, you know what? If you come to play every week, focused, most disciplined team, you can win.
Absolutely, and yeah, again, love the parity in Division One. Always exciting to see a bit of I don't want to say an asterisk, but Dakota beat St. Paul's a couple weeks ago. The game was stopped in the third quarter due to rain and darkness, a couple other factors. So that was a score that it didn't have a full quarters to it. If they meet in the playoffs, that is a game to pay attention to. But there is some other critical movement at the top of Division One. Steinbach, 4-1. Stephen Fettis, stand up. Doing a great job down there. Jamie Peters, loving that. They upset Vincent Massey this past week. Isaac Dawkin, a big part of why that's happening. He's a Bison's commit. Jaden Martin's receiver, leading the WHSFL in yards right now. He's a Bison's commit. A couple guys that have gotten their names stamped early on down there, but in a statement victory. The boys in Steinbach got it going on right now.
Yes, and I think you've mentioned this too. Like
I did.
You did mention that. Don't keep an eye on Steinbach, and like, wow, those guys actually being able to compete for #1 this week versus DAC. I'm really excited to see that game. And I think Stephen Fettis, like I talked about before, I've been able to coach with him before, and he's one of those military type of coaches. He gets what he needs out of the kids, and the kids respond to it. And it's not in a way that it's like, it's pushing them. You know what I'm saying? And so they're responding to it, and it doesn't surprise me that that guy is getting what he needs from those kids.
I totally agree with you. I had the chance to check out Coach Fettis at the provincial team this past summer. He was the offensive line coach there, and he really got the boys to buy in. The offensive line would always be the last ones off the field. They would be running laps after practice, getting the conditioning, and the guys, they were a well-oiled machine out there. I'm really impressed by that. And then the 3-4 spots right now, a little bit of movement, obviously, because you have the Vincent Massey Trojans sitting right now at 3-2, the defending Division I champions, undefeated all of last year, lost to St. Paul's in a defensive battle, and then obviously lost to Steinbach. But that's not to say that Massey is not always going to be right up there. And when we hit playoffs, you know they're going to hit another gear.
It's true.
And St. Paul's, their one loss, again, we talked about it, coming to Dakota. So you look at those top four, man, Keto, it's going to be exciting to see what happens on the stretch.
I totally agree, man.
Moving on to analyzing the Div 2 coaches poll, and the most notable change, Kildonan East. They were ranked 12th on a 12 teams. Coach Hawk, Jason Hawkins down there was definitely
off the line.
In the locker room, scratching off game after game as motivation for the team, and they've used it. They're 4-1, one of the top teams right now in Div 2. So shout out to them. Mateo Muhammad doing well as their quarterback. The top three there's not really a lot of shifting there. Portage is 5-0. They're ranked, I believe, second in the coaches poll. Miles Mack, a top three team, 4-1. Garden City's 3-2, but they lost to Miles Mack and to Portage, I believe. So that, the losses make sense in that regard. I don't think you're surprised to see those teams in the places that they are right now.
No, not at all. I think, the biggest one was KE, and I'm kind of glad how they responded. I know when we talked to Coach Hawk and the boys, they've definitely seemed eager to kind of prove everybody wrong. And they're playing with an attitude, and it's really good, and it's really fun to see them play.
And Div 3, in terms of where the teams are sitting based on the preseason coaches poll, number 1, Springfield. They are first. They are undefeated this year. Have been very, very impressive with Tom Walls. Obviously, the most notable team to talk about, Fort Francis. They're ranked 6 on a 6, and they're in second place right now. Big reason why Brady Meeks, who's at this camp right now, he's having a MOP type season right now in Division 3. I mean, you've been impressed by him. I've been impressed by him, man. There's no denying
And
that.
I remember you pointing him out probably a little bit before. You're like, hey, there's a couple guys on Fort Francis. I was like, where is Fort Francis? And, we went out to that first game out in Springfield, and there goes the one kid just running around, just doing all these magical plays. And I'm like, wow, that kid can play. And it was the guy that you talked about, Brady Meeks, who was actually out here. And we told him, hey, look, you got to come out and play selects this year because you can really play. And, it's really cool to see now the fact that he's actually, especially at that lower level with the Division 3, where, a part of our show is basically about giving those kids the opportunity and that exposure. And for him to be able to, do what he does, but then allow us to basically help him get out there and be seen, I really think it's been a really good compliment. You know what I'm saying?
I totally agree. It's been great getting to know a lot of different athletes through this process and continuing to do that as we go along, for sure. Man, it was a whirlwind of a month this past September in terms of all the highlights we got. Thank you to everybody for your support and continuing to show us what you've got, not only in the province of Manitoba, but across the country as well and all over the world, quite frankly. Very, very impressed to see all the highlights that we got, and again, keep showing those off. Here's a quick sneak peek at some of the top 10 plays from the month of September. Not every team has the luxury of a 6'4" cornerback. That's a lot of length. The University of Manitoba Bisons are not one of the teams that have this problem. RJ Shelley is a long athletic cornerback for the Bisons and a 3-year starter for the program. Learn a little bit more about him now in terms of his background and what motivates him out there on the field. Mike's still here on a very chilly afternoon with Bison's cornerback, RJ Shelley, a 3-year starter for the Manitoba Bisons. RJ, how are you doing today, man?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing real well, thanks, man. Thanks for asking. Let's just start off with all the way from the jump. You're a guy from Mission, BC out there. Why'd you first start playing football, man? What do you like about it?
I first started playing super young. So like when I was like 6 years old, I think. So I've been playing like my whole life.
For Manitoba. Longhart throws, and that one picked off by Manitoba, underthrown to Kopczynski, who was open, and a disastrous start to this second half.
What's your family life like, man? What was it like growing up for you?
I just lived with my mom, moved around a bunch, met a lot of people, went to a bunch of different schools, so yeah.
Was that hard for you, like trying to adjust to being in different places all a bunch of different times?
It was kind of difficult. Like you lose like some friendships, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, like I felt like it was good for me. Just like meeting new people, making new connections all the time.
Now coming out of high school, did you have obviously you had a couple teammates here already with Jesse and the Clarkson brothers, both from Mission already. Was it an easy decision for you to come to the U of M, or did you have some other offers you were trying to field?
I had a couple other offers, but having a couple teammates and like close friends here definitely helped my decision. And yeah, I just like the program. Like all the guys are awesome. Coach Dobie is awesome. So yeah.
What has been your key to success? Because it takes a little while usually, especially Coach Pierre's got a complex defense, but you look comfortable out there. So what's been your keys to success in being consistently in this lineup?
Just like studying the playbook. There's like a bunch of gray areas like that you need to know. It's not all just like set out in stone in the playbook, so you just gotta study the playbook. Just communication is huge.
Obviously, because of your length, massive advantage for the position you play, of course, but also for pass breakups because of that height. I don't know if you know this, but I just tweeted it out not too long ago. Actually, you're currently sitting right now 6th, but with one more PB, you would burst into 5th all-time in the career record books for pass breakups as a player, and you're only in your 3rd season. You get a chance to potentially break the all-time record here. I mean, that doesn't really matter because it's just a stat, right? But I mean, it's got to sound kind of cool, at least knowing that you've made that much of a difference over your last just 3 years in terms of disrupting another team's passing attack.
For sure, I had no clue, to be honest. That's pretty sweet.
Here's Longhart, he's gonna go long. And nice coverage underneath.
What has been with this program? What's it meant to you?
It's definitely huge. It's like the biggest thing that's happened to me in my life. So yeah, I go home for the winter and the summer and back here for the rest of the 8 months. Yeah. Awesome,
man. Cool. Well, it's been a pleasure getting to know you, man, a little bit. Appreciate this. All the best, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much again, everyone, for your continued support of the Sideline Showdown. It means the world to us. We're very thankful for the support. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube, which will have raw footage from all of our interviews as well. This week is an exciting week, Keto. Only 2 weeks left in the WHSFL regular season. And we are going to be at Dakota Collegiate this Friday for the game of the regular season in Division 1 in terms of importance. 5-0 Dakota, 4-1 Steinbach. Going to be very exciting. Can't wait to watch that game.
I'm really excited. And I think it's going to be really cool. We're going to do a live on location this week. So we're going to try to do exactly what we're doing here at the game. And I'm really excited to see, the fans and the energy that everybody brings out. So make sure you guys bring out your game face because this is a big, big game.
Absolutely. DAC always gets great support out there for sure. And I know the community, high school community as a whole is going to come out and watch this game. We're going to be doing a doubleheader. We're also going to be filming Grant Park versus Vincent Massey Brandon in a key battle for one of those last Div 1 playoff spots. So stay tuned for that as well. And a lot of other exciting content as always. And don't forget, big social coming up as well, Keto.
Yeah. So we're having a social in the next couple weeks. October 26th, our first Halloween social. We're looking to raise some funds for new equipment and helmets. It's going to be super, super fun. Still trying to wait and figure out what I'm going to wear that day. But, at the same time, we're just very eager to see the football community and even others who are supporters of our show and supporters of our program to just come out, have fun. Andrew Harris is going to be out there as well. And one of our main prizes that we're going to have that night is a trip to Vegas, flights, hotels paid for, amongst other cool prizes and stuff. And this is my first social. This is not my first social, but probably second social that I've been to. And really excited, man. I'm really excited to be hosting our own social. If you guys really love socials, because I know you guys do, come out. Come hang out with us. We're gonna be face painted. We're gonna be playing a game where if you can find the bomber, you win a prize. And there's gonna be different guys in the crowd doing some stuff. So it's gonna be really super exciting and fun. So come out, come show love, and hope to see you there.
Our main man, Keto, has grown to love the Winnipeg tradition of a social. Thank you again for your support. We're out of here.